this is Jeanette Keynes from Jewelry Arts Inc. In this video, I'm going to show you how to copperplate granules and wire using the Pickle solution you already have in your studio. Getting that copper on there is an essential step for granulation because it lowers the melting point. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do it with stuff you've already got around the studio.
Doing that because for Lynn. This is for you, Lynn.
Hey, Lynn. So we've got our beautiful little granules, and I usually put them in like a little strainer like this because I'm just going to dip them in. I dip them in, but actually you guys might want to come a little closer to see this. Come closer.
Lynn, we're going closer.
Because when you copper plate, it's not the kind of thing that you can say, you know, put the steel in for 30 seconds or 5 seconds or whatever, because it totally depends on like how warm is your pickle, how skanky are your tweezers, like, you know what I'm saying? So you just have to do it and look. And really all I'm looking for is to see a coppery blush. You don't have to like do it more and more and more until it's like super, you know, glowy. It happens faster if you kind of touch them, you know, or you're in there close. So in other words, if you do this, you're probably not going to get any action.
So touch them, yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, they blush.
You see how they have that little blushy? That's all you're going for.
Okay, and then I gotta go on my wire too, I guess.
Okay? So what I'm going to normally do then is put it in the water, because remember, if you leave it submerged in the pickle for a few minutes, it's just going to strip off what you just did. Note to self. So take it out, put it in the water, and that's what I do. I just put it right in the water, you know, and then ta-da. Always remember, because granulation likes clean, no touchy. Even though it's very tempting and you want to put your finger in there and play with them, don't.
Right.
Okay? And then we're going to do the same thing with your wire, right? Because, so first, I'm going to dry that off because I didn't mean to get that wet. I'm just going to press it with a dowel a couple times to make sure it's nice and flat. And remember, for those of you at home,
Two-fisted doweling.
yes. You know, people are like, I want to get that flat, and then they take a hammer and they're like, whack, 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 whack. And what happens is whatever isn't covered with the hammer bounces back. So it doesn't make it flat. It just puts a whole lot of fucking marks in it, and then you're sad. So for something like this, where it doesn't need a lot of violence, it just needs pressing. I usually just use 2 dowels and, like, you know, press, press, press. Because in other words, you press here, what happens? The other side pops up. It's exactly the same thing when you hit it with a hammer. Unless the hammer is big enough to hit the entire thing and you're holding the hammer level, which what are the fucking odds of that? 0, and I say that about myself as well. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to get things flat, you know, press, press. So what I can also do with this though, like I don't need to use the little strainer. I can literally just do this. Ta-da! You see what I mean? Got all cute and coppery. Okay? Yeah. Now, 99% of the time, you don't need to do anything to your pickle, because if you've been using your pickle, it's got copper in it. I mean, this is very blue. Mine is not necessarily always that blue. But let's just say you're at home and you have brand new pickle. Just like heat up a piece of copper, pickle it in, and do that a couple times until the solution has a little blue. You know, it doesn't have to be ultra blue. It just has to have some copper in there. Okay? And when you're done, remember, like as soon as you take the tweezers out, that goes back to being exactly like normal pickle, nothing different. So I just take it and dump it right back, you know, in my pot. Okay?
Okay.